Welcome back to my channel. My name is Stacy, and today we are going over question 13, I think, of my 21 questions journal, which is a self-reflection journal. I do this at the end of every single year. I've been doing it for the last couple of decades so that I can intentionally create the life that I want. And I did this last year, and I wanted to revisit the questions that I did because so much has changed in my life in the last few months, and I wanted to revisit the questions so that way if I needed to like reset or reorganize anything, I could do that for the final 2 quarters of the year to just make sure that I was set up to be able to go into the end of the year, beginning of next year. So this is question 13, and this is in the personal area of life. Just as a reminder, when you get the journal, it's broken into the 7 different areas of life so that way when you're doing this reflection process, it's not just random questions, it's questions that are in alignment with each of the 7 areas of your life, and those areas are your spiritual. Is what parts of my life don't reflect who I really am and why? And you have to remember, this is something that I was answering at the end of last year going into this year. And so when I answered this question before, the main thing that I wrote down is my wardrobe, which if you've been following me since this is 2022, I think I've been working on my personal style. And so I talked about how the thing that doesn't reflect who I really am and why is my wardrobe, and not necessarily the wardrobe that I created with my stylist, but my wardrobe as it relates to when I pick out clothes for myself. And I wanted to change that, and I wanted to update that. And so to that end, a couple of things that I did last year is I got my colors analyzed, and I also got a Kibbe. Well, I didn't get a Kibbe analysis. I did a self-assessment and did the self-assessed way of getting a Kibbe body type. And I think what's really important about this question, and it goes in the personal area of life, is we don't realize that the things around us like help us to see ourselves, right? Like they help us to be able to create and construct an identity. And one of the things that I was taught that really did a disservice to me as I was growing and becoming who I am is this idea that your identity is concrete, and that whoever you are is who you are. You can't change, you can't evolve, you can't grow, you can't shift there. And it's like of the most supreme importance that you find this identity and you just make it so firm, and it's like, this is it, this is all. So like if you decided that you were someone at 18, when I meet you at 30, you better be the person that you said you wanted to be at 18. If you decided who you wanted to be at 20, so on and so forth. And I've since learned that our identities shouldn't be concrete. They should be clay, and we should be allowed to evolve and mold and shape ourselves and grow. And I put this question in the journal because I think a lot of times we don't realize that we have set some parts of our identity of our identity because we have a running belief that it should be concrete. So when I ask the question, what parts of your life don't reflect who you really are, it's really to get at that identity piece, right? Like some of us live in places that no longer reflect who we really are. Some of us dress in ways that no longer reflect who we really are. Some of us work in places that no longer reflect who we really are. Some of us have friendships, romantic partnerships that just don't reflect who we are anymore. But because we don't sit down and like assess that, that particular part of our identity is calcifying and becoming this concrete thing. Like, and I can think of like, I remember when, actually I don't want to share that story, so I'm not going to share it. I'm trying to think of a different example of something that was in my identity that was becoming concrete. Well, I remember I'm going to go to law school. I'm going to be a lawyer. All throughout college, undergrad, as a kid, it's like I've always said that I was going to be a lawyer, like that was my whole thing. My undergrad is in paralegal studies because I wanted to make sure if I couldn't go to law school because of raising my son, I would at least still be in the legal field. Like that was just a big part of my identity. And I remember when I went to go change from, okay, being a lawyer no longer reflects who I am. I've done internships with judges. I've done internships with lawyers. I had 2 different jobs, like working in the legal field. Like I realized like I don't want to do this lawyer thing. And I remember when I tried to shift away from it because it no longer reflected who I am, I got such pushback from my family, primarily because I don't think that they understood, like, if you're not going to be a lawyer, you went to school for all this time, what are you going to do now? What was the point of all this? I got pushback from friends. They were just like, well, that's who you said you were going to do. Now you're just going to change your mind. It's like, yeah, you can do that. But I just remember like realizing that that path just no longer reflected who I was at the time. I had an internship at a law firm, and I was working part-time at Red Lobster as a waitress, and I would dread going to the law firm and love going to Red Lobster. And I remember just being like, why can't I feel the way that I feel when I'm at Red Lobster? Why can't I feel like that at the law firm? And it's because obviously it's different jobs, but I'm also leaning on different skills. And it took me some time to figure that out. But once I finally figured that out, I'm like, oh, this chosen profession no longer reflects who I am right now. And again, I've been doing this practice for a little over 2 decades now. And so now I'm at the point where it's a lot more nuanced and it's a lot more specific, and I can get into the nitty gritty. And so when I was reflecting on this last year, I was like, oh, the thing that doesn't really reflect who you are anymore is your wardrobe, because the wardrobe that I created for myself over the last 2 decades was centered around a big piece of my identity of being my son's mom. It was centered around my faith, and there's like inside of that faith like a very modest way of dressing. It was centered around me being an entrepreneur, not necessarily me being creative, but me being like entrepreneurial and me wanting to be taken seriously. And so there was this extra effort to project a level of professionalism, I think, because I just wanted to be taken seriously. And I think building a company in your 20s and showing up and saying, oh, put me on stage and pay me thousands of dollars, I would lose. Not that I would be intimidated, but I wanted to make sure people saw me as a professional, so that when they were investing this money, they didn't feel like they were investing in like a child or somebody who didn't know what they were doing. So there was a lot of like, I'm going to project a level of professionalism because I'm in these rooms with these C-suite executives. And yeah, so those 3 identities, being a mom, my faith, and then my career. And when I think about what I actually want my style to, and I think, let me say this and then I'll come back to that. I think that that's also the reason why my on-stage and off-stage style, there was such contrast. Like off-stage, I'm just like barely put any clothes on. They barely match, very casual, like super bleh. But on stage, I'm so put together and there's all these details, and it's almost like I'm putting on this like costume. It's like my version of like Beyonce and Sasha Fierce kind of a thing. Like when I get ready to go on stage, I get to wear these like elaborate, over the top, super fun, colorful, exciting outfits. But when I'm off stage, I'm not dressing that way. And I just really thought that that was fully just who I am and my personality, and I'm a Gemini and it's just the nature of the game. But really what it was is I was building my wardrobe around these 3 pieces of my identity, mom, faith, and career, and not really integrating a wardrobe that was just based off of what I liked and what I enjoyed wearing, and the fact that I really do enjoy fashion and I do enjoy style and I do enjoy that whole world. I just wasn't building a wardrobe based off that. It was really focused on how I wanted to be perceived. So to that end, when I'm thinking about this question and probably where my mind was last year and all of the work that I've done since, is just this idea that like, yeah, the wardrobe doesn't reflect who you are, because that was very compartmentalized. And I don't want my wardrobe to be compartmentalized. I don't want there to be a place in my closet where it's like, these are my church clothes, these are my work clothes, these are my this. It's like, no, I just want to have, these are my clothes and this is how I'm getting dressed today, because I feel so much more integrated. Like my faith is now much more integrated. Me being a mom of a 22-year-old human and soon to be a mom of a new human, like I don't want there to suddenly be like, oh, these are my mom clothes. It's like, no, I'm just a mom. Like, and it's not that I don't want to look like a mom, but it's like I don't want there to be these are the mom clothes, these are the work clothes, I don't want it to be that way. I want to be integrated, and I want that to be reflected in my wardrobe and ultimately my personal style. And so I got my colors analyzed, and getting my colors analyzed, I found out that I'm a deep winter. I love the color palette. This color is within my color season. This purple that's behind me is within my color season. And here's the thing that's super funny is a lot of the colors that are in my color season, I love those colors. Like black, like you guys will see me do a lot of things in black. I'm one of the color seasons that can do black, but it's almost like, because of the way that I was raised, because of who I was friends around, and because of the what I chose to make my brand around, right? Like I chose to make my brand around happiness. I strayed away from black because black is associated with depression and darkness and blah, 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 moodiness. So I'm like, I'm not going to put as much black in my brand or in my business or in my wardrobe, because I don't want to, I want people to associate me with happiness. So I'm going to wear things that associate me with happiness versus doing things that have black in it because I like the color black. And now knowing that like black is a color that suits me very well, just warms all the pieces of my heart. Purple is my all-time favorite color. And so realizing that in particular, this shade of purple, because it's not all purples, but this particular cool shade of purple is in my wheelhouse. This fuchsia color is in my wheelhouse. It's like really exciting to learn how to find the colors that automatically make me look super fantastic and amazing and wrap them around me, so that way, like now I don't have any makeup on, just like my eyebrows, but I don't have any foundation or any of that stuff on, and my skin looks very even. But that's because I'm surrounded around colors that suit me versus not having colors that suit me and like having to put on so much makeup. Like if you guys go back and watch my videos, like a color I adored wearing, but it is not for me, is brown. Like brown, gold, tan, all that. I adored wearing it. And now when I go back and look at those videos, I can see the need for makeup, one, and how I was wearing makeup. I don't wear a lot of makeup, but I was wearing makeup in a lot of those videos. The need for makeup, but I can also see how I don't look as vibrant naturally when I'm wearing those colors, because those are not my colors. And so now, having cleared out my wardrobe of those colors, I feel like my wardrobe is starting to reflect more of who I am. And, you know, eventually once I have the baby and I'm shopping again, like ideally I would love to be able to, at least of the wardrobe that I have left, I would love to be able to keep all of it because I did get rid of a lot of stuff. But if I can't keep everything postpartum, just because, you know, maybe my body will be different, who knows, I would love to at least keep 50% of it. And then build in the other 50% of my wardrobe. But when I do that, I want to pick it out because I have an incredible stylist. I have a real life incredible stylist, but then also my mom has been an amazing stylist to me as well. But I want to know how to do it on my own. I think that that's the other element too. And now that I have this tool, like my colors, that's going to be so much more helpful. And then the other tool that I have is my Kibbe body type. This is really helpful because it helps me to understand my silhouette. It helps me to, especially when I think about my stylist here in Chicago, like there would be so many times he would want to put me in certain looks and he would want me to try certain things. And I would be like, Flo, I cannot pull that off. I cannot wear that. I cannot. And now that I understand my Kibbe idea and I understand what my body type is, first of all, I understand why he would pull those looks for me. And second of all, I understand that, like, yes, I can pull it off. And what I was seeing, how I saw my body is not what my body was at all. And even as I'm thinking about reflecting on that and being pregnant now, it's like, I'm so grateful that I got pregnant this year, because in pregnancy, I'm seeing my body truly for what it is versus what I was projecting onto it. And I say to Sean Keys very often, I was just like, yeah, I'm very small. Like I didn't realize, like I'm very small. Like I didn't realize how small I was. It's almost like the size that I am pregnant is the size that I thought I was walking around in when I wasn't pregnant. So when I look back on the size that I was before getting pregnant, I'm like, oh my gosh, you were very small. And so with the help of my Kibbe ID, I'm actually able to objectively look at my body and not filter it through the judgments that I heard as a kid or the feedback that I got from friends and family, or, you know, the body type that's in my family of origin. I'm just able to like objectively view my body through these Kibbe lines, and then in me objectively viewing my body, when I go out and get wardrobe pieces, I'm thinking about, oh, okay, well, if this is your body type, this is something that suits you very well. And so when I think about this question, I'm really grateful that I was just honest, and instead of trying to make it like something super deep, it's just like, no, probably the biggest thing that doesn't reflect who I am is my wardrobe. Like, finally, my home really reflects who I am. My relationship reflects who I am. My friendships, the relationship that I have with my family, like all of that stuff, when I'm looking out into it, truly reflects who I am. My company reflects who I am. And the only thing that I feel like the need to clean up or work on right now is my wardrobe. And I feel really good that I have the time and space and resources to do that. So, question 13, I'll talk to you very soon.